Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. Today's video is going to be about the D-ring rigger's belt from folks at SOE. And the folks at SOE were kind enough to send me this so I can show it to you. It is a really solid belt. And before we get started on the belt, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the folks at SOE. So SOE was pioneered by a guy named John Willis. They're out of Tennessee, and they have been a supplier of the military and civilian tactical market and high quality goods market, gear market for over 10 years now. One thing I like about them is they give priority on orders to all active and deploying military. So these things are handmade, so it's not like they're going to, if you order one, they're not going to walk back to the shelf and pick one up. You know, they make them to order by hand, and so there's a little bit of a wait time on them. They're well worth the wait, but they also want you to be aware that if you put your order in the same time somebody who's about to be deployed puts their order in, guess who gets their stuff first? I think that's it's not going to be you. I think that's great, because I really believe that we need to give our young men and women every opportunity to succeed and to come home safely, and part of that is giving them the best gear available. And SOE, in my opinion, it's got some of the highest quality gear that I've seen. They use about 3 times the material in their stuff as other manufacturers do in similar products. So anyway, that's my little cheerleading section for SOE. I think they're a great company. I do want to give you a caveat, a warning. If you go to their website, just be prepared. You might see some colorful language. So if I wouldn't send my kids there. If that offends you, you might want to be aware of that. But I guess maybe a parental warning would be in order here. Other than that, let's take a look at this thing. This is a 1.75 inch belt. We're going to show you putting it on and all that. It's got a big Cobra buckle on it, which is a really solid retention system. If you're familiar with Cobra buckles, it's got these 2 ears here that go in, and they lock into the toggles here, and so that when they're under tension, you're not getting them loose. If you put them, let me see, if you put it under tension, you just won't come loose even when you try. If it's not under tension, it comes right out. So it's basically a design that is designed for high stress, high tension situations where it's absolutely important that your belt does not come loose. So this one is a rigger's belt, which means it's got this loop on here that you can connect yourself. And if you don't know what a rigger's belt is, I was never in the military, but I happened to go to church with a guy who was a rigger in the Army for a long time. He's airborne Army, and he was a rigger and jump certified and all that. And we were talking about that. Riggers are the guys that rig parachutes, they rig drop loads, they rig cargo drops, they just rig a lot of stuff. He spent a lot of time with helicopters rigging loads and whatnot. And so they're kind of in a precarious, dangerous situation. They may be hanging out of aircraft and whatnot sometimes. So they the ring here so they can fasten themselves in to whatever position they're in so they don't fall out to the plane. So at least that's one of the purposes for this thing. So it can be used for safety or whatever. I guess that is safety, right? So what I thought we'd do is I'm going to readjust this camera a little bit and show you how you put this thing on, because I'll be honest with you, every Cobra buckle belt I've ever seen is a little bit of a pain in the neck to put on. It's not as simple as just putting a belt on. So it definitely takes a little more time to get it on, but if you're in a situation where you need it, it's what's a couple seconds, because once it's on, it's on. So let me readjust things and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so I got my true specs here. Now, bear in mind, this is 1 3/4 inches. It's kind of wide, and it's also got some Velcro on the inside of it, and I'll explain that to you. But basically, a lot of tactical pouches have Velcro on them, so when you put them on here and put it where you want it, it doesn't slide around on your belt. So that's just another feature. This thing's available with or without the Velcro. So what I'm going to do is fold this Velcro over a little bit like this so it doesn't kind of get in the way. And then, I got this, my thermocell is not working very well. Whoops, sorry. Then we'll feed this thing through the belt loops. Just one at a time. And bear in mind, I've got a mic cable here that you probably won't have in your way. So if I unplug it, I'll just stick it back in and we'll have a moment of silence. And this is what I do. You don't have to fold this thing over. It just seems to be maybe a little bit easier to do it that way for me, or maybe not. Let's try this then. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing here, but just keep feeding it through. And once you get it fed through, then you can move this out of the way a little bit, or you can actually open it up, slide it back this way, because it's going to be, you don't want it trapped in your belt buckle. Okay, this thing has got, it's not really a roller, but it is a bar there. Pretty easy to get through. Basically just like every other buckle you've ever used, you feed it through and then you pull it back. Okay, and you got two choices now. You can just strap this around like this, let it cover that belt loop. And you can just Velcro it here. Okay, now you buckle it up here, and you can either take this, push it around there like so, over that belt loop, or you can tuck it under if you really so insist. But it's going to be a pain in the neck because your Velcro is going to want to stick. I'm just telling you. So I just put it there. And what that does, that keeps your D-ring that you can rig up from flopping around. And it's got you, there you go, you got it. So you're pretty set to go. So now, if you need to secure yourself, you got a D-ring here to hook to. Let's take a look at that. Okay, well, hopefully the audio came through on that. I noticed my mic was unplugged. I don't know when it came unplugged. Hopefully it was, you got the gist of that situation. But that again is the 1.75 inch rigger's belt from SOE, and available, this particular model's got the Velcro liners available with or without Velcro liner. By the way, all these SOE gear is available in several different color combinations. I mean, they've got like bright colors. Everything doesn't have to look all tactical. So, but if you're looking for a really super solid rigger's belt, man, I don't think you can go wrong with SOE. Those things, again, they use like 3 times the material of comparable competing brands, and they're just handmade. They're super solid gear. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing it with your friends, for watching those ads, and for shopping on Amazon through the Survival on Purpose links. It makes a gigantic difference in the finances of the channel, and I sincerely appreciate it. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time.